What's going on, YouTube? Evil Foo here. Thanks for joining me for the third episode of what I have dubbed Bad Review with Evil Foo. This is a series where I take a look at my favorite games in the industry, the best games in the industry, and I look for their one-star reviews. I try and look for the most twisted, deranged, crazy ones I can find and try and act them out or read them out with the same passion and vigor and enthusiasm, let's say, that these impassioned writers had at the time they wrote these. So for the third episode, we're going to take a look at one of the biggest games of the year, From Software's biggest game so far. That's going to be Elden Ring, contender for Game of the Year, my favorite game of the year for sure. So let's see what this masterpiece, and it is a masterpiece. It's not my favorite From Software game. I think that's still Sekiro. I haven't played enough Bloodborne yet to have a full decision on that one yet. But this is a fantastic, fantastic game, regardless if it's my favorite or not From Software games. It's really good. I need to do several more playthroughs of this before I have a full opinion on whether it's my favorite or not. But right now, and it will probably remain so for quite a while, it's going to be Sekiro as my favorite. So let's see what these people have to say, these one-star reviews. Sit back and enjoy. Thanks for watching. October 23rd, 2022. Young Adderall writes, 1 star, huge disappointment. Of all From Software's game entries, this is the worst next to Dark Souls 2. They forgot how to create balanced challenge and new ideas, so they just filled the game BS and reused bosses, enemies for the majority of the game, which you have to play through to get to the few good parts of Elden Ring. This game is way too big for its own good. Don't waste your money if you're looking for quality. Play Dark Souls 1 and 3 or Bloodborne instead if you can. One thing they do get right here is that Dark Souls 2 does suck. October 13th, 2022. Mr. Smiles 997 writes, 1 star review, not worth it. Sad graphics. It was boring, dull world and forced to explore. Gameplay, you better time everything you press the attack. Too much, it'll remember. So this is one huge run-on sentence, by the way. So when you go to heal, uh-oh, you swung, now you're dead. Combat is slow and boring, but the enemies aren't. Then you got a whole big world, no idea where to spend the first 40-ish hours. How to spend souls, and spoiler alert, also enjoy YouTube. That's the only way you will find anything. I seriously spent a lot of money, to me anyways, on this? No, I played 40 hours, watched YouTube to get cool items, but none of it was fun. It's for tryhards with toxic players. Oh, and offline is not worth finding others for the reason already said. Toxic tryhards? I think he meant online here. He says offline. Toxic tryhards and their attitude, get good? Seriously? No, I did enough with this game to get my money's worth. Won't be playing this trash again. That cough was unintentional, but it pretty much sums up what that's worth. Nothing. October 30th, 2022. 2 Penny Place 68 says this 1 star review. Trash hitbox on Radon. I have videos upon videos of this game not registering hits. Fix your damn game! Fix it. He has so many videos. November 4th, 2022. Juggle Lotus writes, 1 star. Hollow game. I wonder if that's a pun on the hollowing in Dark Souls. Anyway, hollow game. I restarted the game the first time when I was about halfway in just to fix a screw up in a quest line and was completely bored out of my mind from then on. I immediately noticed how tedious and repetitive the first and largest zones of the game are. Now that the initial first glance spectacle is worn off, the entire game is terrible. I could write a short book with all the reasons from enemy diversity to necessary items being spread so thin you miss them, and your build suffers in the end game. Real great the second run through. Still can't find people due to summon ranges. Still have OP twinks, so whatever the point was failed. Whole combat system is incentivized. Weapon art spamming. No mounted multiplayer, etc. October 28th, 2022. Arc Trooper 55555 writes this 1 star review. Never figured it out. Be able to explore, but combat was horrid. Locks on to other things. Never got runes to level versus currency. It was time to watch YouTube or toss in the towel. Oh, just toss that nasty little towel in there. Just toss it. Toss it in there. October 23rd, 2022. Hazy Balmy 8 writes, 1 star. Shit! Half the time you need a damn friend to help you because the bosses are ridiculous. Somehow normal enemies are sometimes stronger than in-game bosses. Like, yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. October 20th, 2022. Peaches929 gives this 1 star review. Worst game of 2022, possibly ever. I keep playing because I want to enjoy it. I do in very little ways. Offline is so slow. I like the game aesthetically, all the different ways to play. I'm fighting to find the fun point in the game. Its rewards aren't balanced with losses. Controls response time, the layout is frustrating to get the hang of, story doesn't make sense to me. Where am I going? What am I supposed to do? I keep having to Google stuff. I love the magic, it is really awesome, but underpowered. Love the gigantic monsters, but respawning system is one of the worst. Difficulty scaling makes the game too boring on offline. Enemies are so overpowered. Only good way to earn runes is the glitch. I have played games for over 15 years. This is by far the worst made game. I just play Skyrim. Excuse me, it says, just play Skyrim. This game is for clowns. They bought out reviewers to get 5 out of 5 reviews. Already expecting tons of thumbs down from the tryhards that suckle on the devs' nuts. Laughing my ass off. You can't have your own opinion if you're an Elden Ring fan. So, I guess I suckle on the nuts of From Software because I love their work. So, give them big old balls. October 20th, 2022. Let's see. Abdulio, I apparently can't read. Abdulio writes this 1 star review. The fuck is this? No sort of direction to the plot. Worst campaign I've come across yet. So you, Abdulio, my friend, should probably go play some more games. There's a lot of games out there. And I would say most of them have worse campaigns than Elden Ring. November 1st, 2022. Tech41952 writes, 1 star. Trash. Games for anyone who wants to do nothing but fight. No story, zero immersion, just a massive amount of different ways to die. I think Tech is onto something here. You know, I was thinking From Software, and they make okay games and everything, but they should really do like a walking simulator. All this fighting doesn't solve anything. Can't we just hug each other and solve our differences that way? Sit down like adults and talk them out. Why do we have to do all this fighting? That's not immersive. That's not what I want. October 12th, 2022. Guided Brush 9966 gives this 1 star review. Do not buy! Unless you want to rip your hair out. Rip it right out. ISTG. I bought this game thinking it was going to be like a game like the DS, but I was wrong. From the start, the game doesn't tell you at all on what you're supposed to do. You roam for about an hour till you search up what the fuck is about to happen. I don't know, I don't feel like saying more shit. Just don't buy. Just make me rip my fucking hair out. October 3rd, 2022. Cruise Arcade gave this 1 star review. Overrated. Walk around silently to no soundtrack and kill bosses that can take you out with 2 hits. Rinse and repeat. The end. I should have the soundtrack going in the background right now. I mean, I guess you could play the game with no soundtrack if you wanted to. Seems like a strange choice. October 9th, 2022. The day after the Evil Foo's birthday, by the way. Pico496 gave this 1 star review. No autosave. Lost more than 11 hours of clutch progress when I was really low level. Even beat Radon after dying quickly multiple times. And now it's all gone. Can't just rush to him. Nope, gotta do all the little stuff first. And I mean all of them. So make sure you quit and save, because that's the only way. Every 10 minutes or longer. I don't know. I think I might just quit, to be honest. So, if anyone has ever played a Dark Souls or any of the From Software games, they auto-save like every few seconds, it seems like. Anytime you do anything major in the game, it auto-saves automatically. So the whole auto-save thing is bullshit. It autosaves like constantly. November 12th, 2022. Dank Wabbits, Dank Wabs gave this 1-star review. Garbage. All this game is ad and boss spam, and they have 3 moves. They spam every 0.5 seconds. You literally can do nothing. I'm on New Game Plus 11. Trust, not worth $60, especially if this is your first Souls RPG. You will not have fun. Trust this. No one believes you're on New Game Plus 11. Shut the fuck up. July 24th, 2022. Char the Red Comet says this 1-star review doesn't even play right. From infinite stamina, tracking one-shot attacks, and attacking through walls, this game is not worth playing. I don't care how much time I put in, I demand a refund. Especially when the devs thought enemies with all of these things was a good idea. They add that respawn after you reach the site of grace, then add teleportation and no fall damage. The game doesn't even play by the same rules we have to. Torrent is basically useless. How dare you? As one little attack sends him to outer space, and you stay on the ground for 5 years. Also, all armors are useless as armor. Fuck this game. No, fuck you. And don't you ever talk bad about Torrent again. April 19th, 2022. Revolution 58VX gave this 1-star review. Fun, but very unbalanced. Coming from someone who has 100% the Souls trilogy and Sekiro, and beaten Elden Ring 4 times, I can confidently say that this is probably the worst game since Dark Souls 2. This game is very expansive and has insane versatility for builds that make previous games pale in comparison. The bosses are some of the coolest in the series as well. But the fun really starts to plummet when approaching endgame, as bosses will often 2 or 3 shot no matter what your vigor. Invasions are also very disappointing, as will more than often be a gank with broken weapon art spamming. Overall, this game is by far the worst, overall this game is by far the most new player friendly Souls game, which is not what Souls games should be. Too long didn't read, too late. This game is fun at first, but has too many inconsistencies the further you dive into the game that ruin the experience. So here's a edgelord, hardcore player that hates that it's accessible to new players. I'm glad this is accessible to new players. It's still a really hard game. Yeah. Fuck off. Let people play the game. November 10th, 2022. Silent Whisperer writes, 1 star, believed the hype. Got it day 1. Played for a couple hours and got bored. Completely thought it sucked. Tried again after a few months. Even looked up guide. Tried to psych myself up again. Still bored after a few hours. Picked it up again several months after my friend begged me to play with them. The garbage way they did co-op. If it becomes free, then I can say it would be worth it. So you can appreciate the better games you are not playing because you decide to try this. Worst hype game of the year. March 10th, 2022. Voltron Zytek gave this 1 star review. Absolute worst game I've played in the past 20 years. First off, I made 150 hours in the game. There are so many copy-pasted bosses that it's tedious and boring. Most of the mandatory bosses just destroy the 10 hardest Souls bosses. The AI on Xbox is busted, so that they will mostly target the host, and only the host. The AI will literally spam its abilities non-stop, making fights near impossible. Honestly, Miyazaki has lost his way. This isn't overcoming adversity, it's just torturing your players relentlessly until 1% make it past. While you mock the rest, this game is literally breaking Souls veterans and newbies alike. And because it has no cross-platform functionality, those of us on Xbox are just fucked. You're forced to solo almost 90% of the bosses, not to mention the perfect reviews are from zealots and paid reviewers, so it's mostly all fake. Maybe about 0.5% of the gleaming reviews are from real players that enjoyed the game, but they got through on luck alone. known a lot of people in life that like to diminish other people. They say, oh, this person's really talented, but if I had their time or their money or their genetics, whatever the situation may be, I could do that too. Always dismissive of others. So this guy right here, just because he can't do something, he says, oh, well, maybe 0.5% of people got through. That was just luck. Fuck off, man. August 18th, 2022. Josh of the Flame gave this 1-star review. Hold on, I gotta get in character this way. Nothing special. Just Dark Souls with different skin, proving Americans are stupid with no independent thought and are easily sold shiny things. Those stupid fucking Americans. August 13th, 2022. Abandon Us 666 gives this 1-star review. Bitter. This game is tedious. I have no reason to want to play or beat the game, as everything is against the player. The only sense of accomplishment I got was when I deleted the game. I wish I had a physical copy so I could microwave it into oblivion. The only thing this game has going for it is its small file size and one-time purchase, which doesn't matter because this game is boring and needlessly difficult. I'd rather play Drake of the 99 Dragons while being a prisoner at Abu Ghraib than even press start on this digital abomination. First, you're a piece of shit for making jokes about Abu Ghraib. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Second, I hope you got another, an additional sense of accomplishment. I hope you got an accomplishment for spreading this message out into the world. This wonderfully written and well thought out 1-star review. Thank you for blessing us with your insightful words. September 20th, 2022. RTG DL writes this 1-star review. Trash. PvP is trash. So is this game. September 27th, 2022. I'm a cat furry. And that's the author's name, not an admission about myself. I'm a cat furry writes, 1 star. Great game, but why can't I play multiplayer without Game Pass? I bought Elden Ring. I should be able to play it online. Other than that, 5-star game. I think you're right there, furry. I hate it when publishers and Microsoft force you to subscribe to Game Pass to play your games that aren't even on Game Pass. Oh, I hate that. August 9th, 2022. Strife Sephiroth says, this 1-star review, Horse Guy is immortal. 1 hour playing and the horse guy killed me almost 100 times. Now, I'm no tactical genius or anything like that. You know, I've played some strategy games in the past, starting with Shining Force, fantastic game. But I would give you this this advice here, Strife. Now, say this is the world of Elden Ring. And here in the middle, where all these lines intersect, let's say that's the horse guy. You're starting down here, okay? Horse guy's here. If for 100 times in a row, as you said, 100 times, you keep going here and dying, and dying, and dying, and dying, and dying, ad nauseum, 100 times, I would suggest for the 101st time, maybe, and hear me out here, this is kind of a deep strategy, so pay attention. So instead of going from where you're at to where the horse guy's at, try going a different direction. Or, say if that's too fancy for you, and you're here, try going the other direction. Try going this direction, that direction, that direction. Basically, any direction except for where the horse guy who has killed you 100 times is. I don't know, it might help, it might make your experience a little more enjoyable. November 15th, 2022, DL Jester LB writes this 1-star review. Killed my hope for the future of gaming. This game feels totally incomplete and lacks any semblance of story. It's a mashup of a bunch of systems that don't mesh at all. And never mind the empty world chock full of repetitive fights that lend 0 overall progress because the monsters respawn. And good luck discovering anything, as you spend more time trying to retrieve runes after you die than actually progressing. If you're looking for action, story, and a real combat system, this isn't it. To all the people who think this half-baked pile is an awesome game. You have absolutely no clue. This is the very last new release game I'll ever purchase. This unfinished game get released without any system of tracking anything at all? And you guys think it's good? I expected substance, not some MMO world space repurposed as cash grab. Update. Add hours of grinding just to lose all the runes to bugs. This game is a joke. Witcher 3, Skyrim, so many better options versus this bore fest. I do agree that Skyrim and Witcher 3 are great games, fantastic games, but they're no fucking Elden Ring. Elden Ring is Lord. November 9th, 2022, Magic Paprika 899 writes, don't get the hype. I really wanted to like this game. It's my first Souls game, and after watching the videos and reviews online, I thought, I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, watching how-to videos became the normal. I spent more time Googling how-to than playing the actual game. There is zero instruction, zero in-game tutorials other than the very beginning that tells you how to swing your weapon. Basically, zero context. If you didn't start with a Souls game, I wouldn't pick this one up. I have the complete opposite opinion. This would be the best starting place for anybody that's new to the Souls series. This is the most inclusive, the most vast, wide, whatever you want to say. Yeah, inclusive, but just it accepts all different play styles, and there's so many different builds and varieties you can do. Plus, the whole no direction, where to go type thing. I keep seeing this complaint about the game. Literally every side of Grace has a big, bright gold, arrows pointing you to the next location you should go to. I mean, if you can't follow anything more obvious than that, you have no hope in gaming. It's like playing Crazy Taxi with the giant green arrow above you telling you where to go. This is the same thing. Go to a side of Grace. Just pay attention a little tiny bit. You don't need a huge indicator flashing, oh, go over here, like the Ubisoft open world games. I'm tired of that shit. The maps in those games are so boring, and there's so much to do, and it's a huge turn off. Elden Ring, you can literally just get lost and explore around. You don't have to go anywhere you're quote unquote supposed to or anything. It's open world. Go wherever the hell you want. I mean, certain things are closed off. And there's definitely areas that you're supposed to go to, which they guide you to. And eventually, if you want to beat the story, you have to go to certain places. But it's fantastic. Just take your time and explore. Relax. Enjoy a game world. Don't be in such a fucking rush. September 10th, 2022. Mudbogger75 writes this 1-star review. Horrible. Rather boring. You're fucking boring! September 22nd, 2022. H2 Striker 717 gives this 1-star review. Xbox Series X controller is very slow. Level up system is pointless. The Xbox Series X controller is very slow. No updates have fixed the slow controller issues. The game is set up to waste your time. Zero enjoyment. Now, Striker, I'm in my 40s now. I started gaming when I was a kid. But, I understand what you're saying about the Xbox Series X controller is slow. Like here I have my custom, designed Sega Series X controller. It's got the Sega colors on there. It's designed after some of my favorite systems. But, I understand what you're saying. The controller is slow. If you're fucking old and pathetic. If the controller seems slow, move your thumbs faster. Move your fingers faster. Go like this a little bit. Go like this a little bit. August 13th, 2022. King Mufasa 57 gives this 1-star review. Same game, basically. Basically Dark Souls 4. Like From Software could have done better and different, but instead basically said, you like Kentucky Fried Chicken? Then why would I make a whole new restaurant called Kentucky South Turkey? Nah. Gonna make Kentucky Fried Chicken 2. Elden Ring is a reskin of the Elden Ring is a reskin of the other Souls games because they practically took the same thing from their games, fixed them, and then added into Elden Ring along with the $60 DLC game Sekiro. This game's community praises the game that it will win Game of the Year, and half of them haven't even finished the game. Just an L game with a poorly written story. First of all, reading this makes me want to go get some chicken. Second, calling Sekiro a $60 DLC game Sekiro is not even a Soulsborne game. It's not at all. It's vastly different. It's not a Soulsborne game. I'm working on a video right now explaining why it's not a Soulsborne game, but it's not. So calling that a DLC is probably the stupidest thing I've possibly ever read in my entire life. I don't read a lot, but yeah. Complaining that it's an evolution of Dark Souls. That's what they've been marketing as. This is the next step from Dark Souls. And this is vastly different to Dark Souls, Elden Ring. Yes, there's a ton of the same DNA, and it's obviously an evolution of that, not a revolution. But Sekiro, on the other hand, is a separate thing. That is more of a revolution. That's a completely different kind of thing. That's beyond the point. My point is, I'm going to get some chicken after this. August 6, 2022. KJigs5 writes this 1-star review. Don't believe the hype! I really don't understand why this game is so popular. The story is almost non-existent and just plain dry. Open world is lifeless, full of travel filler, and boring. I have spent 11 hours playing, and there's just nothing to hold my attention anymore. The exploration is dull, and with limited exploration at that. I don't know why it keeps explorationing. The bosses are basically like driving the same car every day, but claiming it's new because it has different paint. Just figure out the pattern and wait for your turn. Every NPC you meet is extremely vague, so you can't even get into the lore of the world that was created. The risk-reward system is garbage. You will fight overpowered grunts and even more overpowered bosses, and are rewarded with peanuts for your efforts. After 11 hours, I still had pretty much the same gear I started with. Not for lack of trying either. Not even the slightest bit of guidance. Not even a journal for objectives. This game feels like work, but without the paycheck. Save your time and money. So I like how someone like this, they feel so put out or so hurt, or they feel so self-important that they have to go post this to the world. Take their time. He's complaining about how I wasted his time. It feels like a job. Yet he's going in his free time, writing this rant up on here for other people to read when nobody gives a fuck. It's entertaining for me. I'm enjoying making these videos because of deranged people, but nobody cares. Go work your job. Go get your paycheck. Leave the games to somebody else that want to play them. August 29th, 2022. Deep Fried Cat 639. Delicious name, by the way. Gives this 1-star review. Worst game. This game makes Halo Infinite look good. Now this review here really pisses me off. Nothing makes Halo Infinite look good. It's garbage. August 29th, 2022. Nightmare OG 2320 gave this 1-star review. The worst Soulsborne ever made. I understand this game, the first From Software game to feature an open world, but the environments all look similar. And even though the map is layered in level design, that doesn't excuse the small emptiness left behind. And this game is way inferior to Bloodborne by a long shot. It's nowhere as captivating as other games like GTA 5 or even Resident Evil. I honestly feel like I forced myself through this game. It's far from a genuinely enjoyable chore, and it's too late to get a goddamn refund. Thanks a fucking lot, Microsoft and From Software, for fucking your fans straight in the ass. You really showed us one hell of a time. I could have bought food or other shit with that $60, you dirty little thieves. Oh, excuse me. You dirty ass thieves. Nightmare OG. Hopefully you get the help you need one day. Hopefully getting some of this venting out helped a little bit. It sounds like maybe you just need to go, I don't know, bust a nut? I don't know. Do it alone though, because you don't need to be sharing your craziness with anybody. It's August 18th, 2022. Seems like a lot of these are written in August or October. I guess those are the 2 months that people hate this game. Ghost872 writes this 1-star review. Wasted $60 on this. You're literally just wandering the land with no idea where to go. They barely tell you anything about combat at the beginning. Plus, the controls are weird. And also, for some random ass reason, you'll occasionally turn away when attacking an enemy. There's also stupid notes from other players that don't help at all or lie. Also, if you're not a Dark Souls player, then you're going to hate the save system to where you must find some spot of grace or whatever in order not to lose your location. Another thing is, there's no pausing, so you're screwed if you need to go to the bathroom. It's a waste of money. Do not buy! Now, anybody who's seen the World of Warcraft South Park episode, Cartman already has this problem figured out. From Software has the same philosophy. You know, if you live alone, I guess you're fucked, but as long as you have somebody else in the house, your mom, your wife, your sister, brother, your children, roommate, whatever, just call for them to bring the bathroom to you. Mom! Bathroom! Mom! Kind of what you sound like anyways. Little fucking crybaby. Vampiric Void on September 20th, 2022 came off his high horse for a small moment to bless us with this 1-star review. Big swing and a miss. Great graphics, decent mechanics. Health and mana should regenerate when out of combat, which it doesn't. Bad multiplayer. Having to find or purchase an in-game item to only momentarily play with friends is not how you make a multiplayer feature. No settlements or main bases to use or upgrade. With no payoff, the purpose of owning this game is to let other people know that you once had $60. Now, I'm sure when you wrote that, you felt very clever. It wasn't clever. Thank you for the Game Design 101 lesson, though. I'm sure From Software is going to take this to heart and make a lot of changes. Hopefully they implement them in the DLC for Elden Ring, because I can't wait to see those changes in the improvement of this game. Hopefully it finds an audience with the changes you've suggested. Well, thanks for watching. That's going to wrap on the 3rd episode of Bad Review with Evil Foo. I hope it's as fun for some of you to watch as it is for me to make. These are a blast. It's a lot of work. I'm still working on the formatting for this. I think this is a little bit better than the last two, but I'm going to make some adjustments, and the next one I get, I'm not sure what game it's going to be yet. Maybe it'll be Sekiro. I don't know. I'm in this From Software mode right now. But, yeah, hopefully it gets even better. Thanks for watching, like I said. If you like it, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff people always say on these YouTube videos. Just remember, the only thing I really care about, say you see a sweet old lady on the other side of the street, you see a cat up in the tree, something like that, and you're walking by, you know, do the right thing. Evil Kung Fu their asses!
I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out.